I'm in the drawing that's called BIM Classroom Example Stair, and what I want to do is I want to switch from looking at the space view to looking inside my existing building through the camera that's called Stair. So what we're about to do is we've got a mezzanine level and you can see the landing area, and we're about to create the stair that will go to that landing level. So I'm going to move to the floor that I'm going to draw the stair on. So I'm going to move to the ground level, and then I'm going to go up to the Home tab, and I'm picking on the option that says stair. Now, unlike the other objects that we created like floors or the roof, the stair is not a closed shape but a line, so it has a beginning point and an end point, or a combination of lines and arcs. And the option that we're using, because this is not a custom stair, is the run option. So when I pick on that, what it's waiting for is for me to give it a start and an end point for the stair. Let me roll forward a bit so this is clearer. The lines are the pattern of the wood on the floor. So first point is the beginning of the stair, and then if I look, I get a readout that gives me the number of risers. If I were to go to the very end, you can see it says 18 risers created, 0 remaining. This is to let you put in landings by clicking, then moving beyond the width of the landing, clicking again, and then going beyond the end of the stair. I'm just going to go beyond the very end. I'm assuming one flight of stairs from bottom to top. So I click and I've got my stair. Notice that in the properties palette I was saying it's on the 0 ground level and it's going to the top level, it's going to the mezzanine level. So this is the actual sketch, and I'm going to say that I'm finished now creating the stair, and at that point it's actually made the 3D model. So if I switch back to my view to stair, you see that it shows up here, but I'd only placed it approximately. So what I want to do is I want to go back to the ground level, actually to the mezzanine level, right? Because this is how I want to make sure that the end is in the correct place. And it's not the 3D model that you put the constraints on, similar to the process that you used when you did floors or you did roofs. It's the actual sketch inside the 3D model that you want to constrain. So what I'm going to do is I pick the stair, then I say edit sketch. Now I could, if I do something like say a line, and I pick the end, and in here, that's me actually modifying the steps inside this, because each of these, the green lines represent the stringers, the black lines represent the risers. So it might make more sense if what I do is grab the whole sketch like that, and I'm going to say move it from the center location there to the center of that wall. So that's the whole sketch that is being moved to the end of the floor. It's the whole sketch that was moved, not me trying to line just the end of that. Now that I've actually got it in that position, what I need to do is I just need to make sure that I've actually made the connection between this face of the floor and this end of the stair. So what I'm going to do is click on the align command. You pick the object that's staying stationary, click, you pick the object that you want to connect it to, click, and you lock it. So that's the alignment now between the face of the floor and the top riser. The other thing I want to do here is I want to put a dimension in to fix the distance to the center. So I'm going to say put in a line dimension that goes from that face to that face. I got to just pick a point in space. I'm zooming in just so I can see that I'm not actually clicking on something, and then I've got my padlock to say okay, lock that. So now I've actually made the connection, and now I'm wanting to get out of the sketch mode. So I click back up here, and that's something that confuses a lot of people, is that if you can't see these, I had to click back on the panel so I could see the options to finish the editing in sketch mode. Some of it depends on what size, how much screen space you have, or what your resolution is, as to whether you'll see all of this. I've actually got the 3D stair in place. If I go back now to my view to stair, that's what it looks like. I don't like the handrail, so what I'm going to do is pick the handrail, and just as we did before, I could change that to say handrail pipe. When I say what we did before, I mean changing the actual options by selecting something and then looking at the properties and coming down and making a different choice there. So I think I'm okay with that as my stair, and I just want to confirm that if I was in here, so I'm going to go to the mezzanine level just so it's a bit more obvious. Inside the floor, you see what I've got is dimensions that constrain the positioning of the landing for the stair, and that establish the relationship between this grid line. So what I'm about to do is go in and say what would happen if I were to actually move that grid line. I'm just going to drag it back a little bit just to show you, so you see how it maintained the relationship. And then I'm going to go undo to come back to the view that I started with. So that's how you would place a stair and constrain it in your model.